All right. So this is the Beanie After Dark edition.
Let's get it.
I have Armani back again. I'm really so Mr. Graham, the man, the myth, 11. You have not seen my comments. Everybody be DM me is like, who is this guy?
Wow.
Who is this guy? No, I was like, yeah, dude. I mean, I'm so you're. It's really cool. Even though we're a small niche community, it seems like we're actually getting up there a little bit.
That's
so
cool, man.
No, it's
I'm
dope.
really glad to hear that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm people are really vibing with your message. So today we're going to jump into some deep topics. So I want to shout out to Jediah Bila Live. She did a show with a gentleman called Destiny.
Okay.
So shout outs to them. They're going to give us a lot of the kind of the topics that I'm going off of today.
Okay.
We're going to get into the nitty gritty of it all to kind of see how this all plays out. So I'm really excited to see what's going on. Yeah, get excited. So, all right, let's get into it. We're going, dude, this is what this is about.
I'm ready, bro.
This is a really unhinged thing. There's no, I mean, we this is not the as you know, the story was more just for family. And this is not.
Yeah.
Not that.
Okay.
This is absolutely not.
It is.
It's not meant for them. This is more definitely for the people. We trying to talk about topics that don't get discussed, right? That people are very scared to talk about. Why we should be able to have those conversations. So our goal is just for this show. We got the Moonstone out, so you know it's all good vibes right now.
Let's do it.
For as long as we can.
Bro. We should be able to talk about
this. We'll see how it goes.
Like, people are scared to have hard takes and big opinions.
Facts.
But you shouldn't be.
You shouldn't.
You should be who you are, and you should have a perspective and an opinion. And I think everybody's opinion matters, and I'm excited to talk about it.
Run it.
This is good. Let's run it.
This is great.
Come on. Let's go.
Hey, Sarah. Sarah, don't stress too much if we don't get the live on there. Do you at least get the live on the regular Beanie? All right, we Gucci then. So let's get it. So first, we're gonna talk about Andrew Tate. So I'll be honest with you, okay? So from what I know of Andrew Tate and his popular message, right? I don't know if you know a gentleman called Sneeko, or if you know like the kind of Fresh and Fit and the squad that he mostly has been involved with. But Andrew Tate has been in part of this whole ecosystem.
Okay.
And he obviously went viral not too long ago before he was recently banned. About this kind of red pill, psychology, right?
Okay.
And there is some pretty divisive things that he mentions, Okay. And one of the things that I think is really, really interesting to talk about is his relationship not only with women, but with the boys, right? Like, so how do you? I don't know how too much about his message that you're familiar with, but one of the biggest things that he mentioned was like, yo, if you're hanging out, with your boys, right? They're supposed to be like your tribe, right? They're supposed to be like your these are the homies. These are the people you're gonna stay click with, no matter through thick and thin, right? Which is dope. But it's almost like a transactional type of thing. The way this is being presented is if like, hey, if they ain't got the money, then you don't need them in your life. Like, and I have boys, I have like, homies that I kick it with. They, they're not like as financially strapped like, that I am. And, but they got good character and they got good hearts. They, they bring something to the table.
Exactly.
Do you think that it's just okay to just be cutting off homies and just saying, look, man, if you can't bring the bread to the table, then you're not welcome inside this tribe. What is the standard? What is the standard for you on who you keep in your circle? Because I'm curious to know. If that you kind of follow that same kind of red pill type of like masculinity, this is it.
That mentality.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's funny. I was talking about this earlier with one of my little homies. So if you're a 6, you should hang out with 7 and 8s, but you should also have 5 and 4s around you.
5-4 is what? Keep you humble? What is it?
People.
Okay.
Where they're at in life. You need to have people that are around you that are above you. They're more successful than you.
Sure.
And they have more wisdom.
Okay.
But you also need to be around people who you pour into. Who aren't in the same area as you, who may not be as mature as you, who may not be as financially stable as you.
This is the mentorship side. So if you're mentoring, like let's say you're mentoring like are we talking about drug addict, right? How do you level that into your system here? Where do you scale on your own system?
I'll give you an example. I was with my little homie today. We filmed content. I love him to death. He's like a little brother.
Right.
He's 21 or 22.
Right.
I'm 31. We're 10 years apart. Before we started filming, we had a deep talk today. He was like, man, I just feel like I'm going through the flow, going through the motions, and doing the same thing every day. I said, that's what being a man is. Being a man is being predictable and boring. I said, My wife knows where to find me all the time.
Yo, Sarah. Yo, he's not lying though. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
any
100%.
healthy man, a healthy man is predictable.
Right.
Your wife needs to know you're a safe space and that she knows where to find you and she can count on you. I do the same thing.
Sarah, you got the thumbs up from Sarah.
Dude, I go to the gym. I make content. I go to church. I hang out with my wife. I hang out with my son.
Right.
I see my family. I do the same thing. My wife knows where to find me. I'm not sporadic. I'm not all over. That's a man, bro.
See, but Andrew Tate, I mean, he's all about, listen.
If you're not bringing money to the table, then you need to leave.
Yeah, but
I disagree with that.
Even in his relationships in terms of with the kind of women side of things, right?
Yep.
He talks about men are allowed to step out, but the woman is like, listen, you got to stay in line. Like, and I'm all for open relationships, right? I don't really care if you want to go and be whoever you want to be with. Okay. If it's consensual, cheating is something that's not going to happen, right? But if someone says to say, hey, look, I as an individual am allowed as a man, like it's not like as a person, right? It's like me as a man and what I provide when I provide money and protection. That's essentially Andrew Tate's type of idea. Well, I provide this type of 18th century protection man type of like mentality here, but this is 2022. You to have a woman sit there and say, hey, you're allowed to be with other women and me not. That's a whole different dynamic, don't you think? Yeah. Right? So I guess my question is that why do you think men are starting to be in a position where they feel like it's all about status. It's all about being with the most women, having the nicest things, having the most of everything in order to feel, to think that they are something.
I'm going to tell you what it is.
Shoot.
They have a false sense of what a man is. It's a false sense of self. That's exactly what it is.
I mean, Andrew Tate wouldn't say that, bro.
No, that's
you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to shoot him all the way down, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm saying this. It's a false sense of being a man. Money don't make you a man. Your age doesn't make you a man.
Right.
You can be 50 years old and still be a boy. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you can be a boy. I know some grown men who are 50 and they act like they're 18, 19, 20. Something traumatic happened in their life and they stopped growing, but they still grew in age. So I disagree. I think the complete man, like I said before, is man, father, husband. Until you're all three, you're going to fill a void. You're going to fill that void up with money, success, women, alcohol, drugs, because you're looking for that. I think God called us to be those three: man, father, husband. And when you don't have that, I think you make up how you live every day. And I think there's a sense of you're trying to fill that void, which is essentially what his crew kind of talks about. Money, cars, I can cheat, but a woman can't cheat. Like, okay, so first of all, that's a double standard. And another thing I want to say, I've been thinking about this. Men are called to protect, not hurt. I'm talking about women specifically.
Right.
I believe men are called to protect women and stand in the gap for women. Men have shoulders. We're built to carry. We are called to stand in fire in front of a woman, to protect her and cover her.
Sure.
So if you're not doing that, in my opinion, you ain't a man, because men are called to protect and carry. So if you're sleeping around and your crew's saying we can do whatever we want, I can cheat, but you can't. Like, what? That's not a man, bro. In my opinion. That's just me, though.
I agree. I think that there's a sense of responsibility that you have when you carry a sense of power, right?
Exactly.
And how you wield it is really interesting. You can, you can stomp around and say, hey, this is my territory, this is my space, you're not allowed into it, right? Or you can kind of be like, hey, let's start a business, collab, come as part. So I think there's a little bit of a territorialness when you come to say like, hey, look, I have the power, and so I'm allowed to do things and you're not.
If you're smart, you cultivate that potential in your wife. It's a whole nother subject. I do that with my wife. I build her up. She builds me up. I build her up.
And what do you mean by that? Let's elaborate.
So, okay. My wife she's very quiet and reserved.
Sure.
Right? Super introvert.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I had a plan. Before we even got together, I said, I'm about to get her out of her shell. I'm going to make her be more confident. And that was my plan. I'm going to help her work through this. How to have conversations with people.
Right.
How to be fully who you are in front of people, because it's there, but she had trouble showing it. As a man, I'm called to develop her. That's what a man does.
That's a tough thing because, and actually I'm gonna push just a little bit
Go
here
ahead.
because a lot of the times I feel like a lot of people are with people because they're trying to change them. There's like this hope, right? Like you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be with this person.
Yep.
Obviously, no one is perfect, right?
Yep.
That's reality. But if if you have this sense of agenda saying, hey, look, my goal is to fix this part about you, right? Do you feel like that could backfire, or do you feel like that it was a mutual thing, like she wanted to become more confident?
It can be overbearing.
Okay.
I was overbearing at first. I admit that.
Okay.
But then I learned, okay, this is how I approach her. This is what worked. So a good leader is trial and error, and you figure out what works, and what doesn't work, you pivot. My wife is completely different from when I married her now. She's still great.
Run it,
I feel
yeah.
like she's greater.
Yeah,
I tell her all the time, you're like wine. You just get better over time.
Right, run it.
And I'm seeing her blossom. Just like as a wife, she develops me as a husband in certain areas.
Right.
I have zero patience, bro.
Right.
She has so much patience. Patience. Excuse me, this is going in my mouth. So I'm learning that.
Yeah, right.
She's developing me.
Hey, do you have any tissue, Sarah? You can step out. You can go outside if you like, and I know some of the guys are here as well. You're free to move. We moving like this is after dark, so we chilling like a villain. No, keep pushing. Yeah, we all Gucci down to the socks. So then so my question then is like, let's say we're well, actually that brings me to the next thing, money, right?
Let's do it.
You're a man, right?
Yep.
And obviously your goal as a man is to try to have and build a family, right?
Exactly.
And lead a family into a more prosperous life, right? And your goal is to make sure that they're in a capitalist environment, because this is capitalism, right? That you have you have the number one sense of growth possible, the water that you need to grow the seed, right?
Exactly.
And the water in this world is right now is money, right? So money helps you alongside of obviously the soil being, let's call that knowledge, and you know the rest of the recipe. You got the sun, and you make sure that's nurturing and you know love and all that good stuff. And
a lot of different moving parts,
of course, right? But money is a big aspect to it.
Huge.
Money is a huge importance to it. But I don't. As I've made more money, I can recognize the saying, right? More money, more problems that you've had in life. And I don't know if I want my child to just try to chase for money.
Exactly.
Obviously, I want them to have what it rewards, the reaps of it, what it rewards.
That's fair.
But man, I don't want them to feel like they're just going to be just squeezed, you know, for all their work ethic, their attitude, and their mentality. So what is the balance? You know, obviously, I know you have a beautiful son. So how do you kind of get that message across?
I think, for one, it's important you have to make money as a man. You have to provide.
Right.
And that's number one. But you also there has to be a sense of balance of you're not chasing it, but more so chasing what you actually want to do in life. Where your heart is. Where's your desire? Because where your heart is and what you're passionate about,
right,
where your strengths are, your natural God-given strengths, there's money after that. The money's there. If you can find that out, then you'll be able to work every day and do something that you actually love. The money's just a bonus on top of it. But I'm going to speak for myself and my family. And last year, I made like probably $100K, bro, off of stock. $100K. More money, more problems, though.
Yo.
I got it, and I kept looking at my account because I didn't know what to do. Nobody taught me about money.
Yeah.
I mean, they taught me.
Right.
My family taught me.
Right.
But I didn't know how to manage that.
Sure.
So I lost it. But it was more money, more problems. And I'm noticing, even right now in a season where we don't have a lot of money, we have just enough to get by.
Right.
I feel better. I'm happier.
You know
I'm
what?
more content.
Sarah, and that's why I'm very lucky. You know, I know this is I mean, this can come off to some people as racist, and I think you're an idiot if you do. I think there is a sense of culture where Asian culture really tells you got to be very pinned. You have to you have to follow your money. And Sarah's taught me that sense of just like,
which is a blessing.
Right.
That's a blessing of an interracial marriage, which is a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, I would love to jump into that too.
Because when you marry somebody, you
100%.
should get a benefit. She gets a benefit from you, and you get a benefit from her.
Right.
So that's your benefit you're getting from her.
Yeah, 100%. Her attention to detail is literally unmatched. I have never met someone in my entire life who notices things.
Wow.
Because my dad is in the military, so he has this whole high level of attention to detail, right? But my wife is like a little bit different, where it's like it's not like get up, brush your teeth, like just simple tasks that you're supposed to have, like the Jordan Peterson type of way, it's more on the sense of like, hey, when you come inside, you put your shoes to the side, right? Like you take off your shoes, you go into your house shoes, and it's more of like a respect cultural type of thing. When you talk to someone, like if you're talking to someone who's elderly, right? She squats and gets into like the same eye contact. Wow. She shakes their hand, and she like this sense of the demeanor that she has with individuals, right? And the reason I bring this up is because what I found out I just went to the DR, right? Mm-hmm. I just got back on Sunday. Okay. And when I was in the Dominican, the money I had bought me I would snap my fingers, literally. Anybody in their mosque would just be swarming. Hey, yeah, what do you need? They all speak Spanish, right? So what can I do for you? Like, how can I help provide you a better service, right? Just paying them the extra few dollars for the services that they provide, it gave me this like this power over people, right? But the way Sarah's done it, it's almost like this, like, it doesn't matter how much money I have. Exactly. I treat you based off of your age. And that's such a weird, like, it's such a weird thing. Like, remember back in the days where, like, the grandmas in the block, you'd be more scared of grandmas than you'd be scared of the cops. Exactly. Because you don't want to, like.
Your grandma's going to get you if you're cutting up or acting up.
Yo, with some heat. What happened to the sense of, like, the community in people? What happened to the. Exactly. Yeah, what happened to that soul that you would know the names of all your neighbors or all the people in your apartment complex?
So I want to speak to that.
Please.
It's a California thing.
What?
I'm not exaggerating.
What?
I told you my mom lives in Texas.
Okay.
And we're from the Midwest.
Run it.
In the Midwest in Texas, it's the same. I come around, Armani, it's so good to see you. They invite me into their home. How are you doing? Their phones are off. I'll give you an example. I went to a restaurant in Texas.
Okay.
I sat down and ate. I went to pay. She said, it's on the house, baby. You're not going to get that in California.
Never.
Never.
But
it's a California thing.
Dude, I don't know, bro. I can't.
I'm telling you because I'm going to tell you what I do.
Okay.
What you're describing, you said this is what your wife does, right?
That's true.
I do the same thing. I only do it because my California mom and my dad taught me that and because we do that in Michigan. So I'm going to tell you what I do.
Okay, run it.
Whenever I see an older person, white, black, doesn't matter the race. I say, what's up, OG? Or if they're white, what's up, big dog? I give them that respect.
Right.
If I'm at the grocery store and I see an old lady, doesn't matter your race, you're carrying water bottles to your car. Hey, ma'am, do you need help? No, but thank you. That was so polite for asking. Thank you for that. Why'd you do that? I always say because I hear my California mom in the back of my head saying, you better help that lady get that water.
Right.
That is Midwest values and Southern values. When I come here in California, I'm like, dang, people really aren't like that.
But she's from the East. She's from the East, though. And that's why I'm like, I don't know if you've been around Chino or if you've been to Eastvale.
Yeah.
I mean, the Asian community.
But what if it's just that, like I said, that's in their community?
But the black community, even in the IE, I remember going outside and still knowing my neighbors and stuff, right? But I think, and this is why I think you might be right, is because my father's from Brooklyn. He's from New York. And so he was like always about knowing everyone in his apartment complex because that's your block. That's you from the projects. That's essentially really that's your family, Yeah. You know everyone there. So I almost want to say that I want to say I don't believe that because
they say Californians are kind but mean, and everywhere else in America, people are mean but kind. So I'll give you an example.
Oh, okay.
In California, you have a flat tire.
Right.
Nobody pulls over to help you.
Facts.
You go to the East Coast. Oh man, you got a flat tire. They'll get out and help you.
Right.
These are stories that I've heard. In the South, people will help you. California is different. It's just different. I only know because I've lived in multiple states and I see the difference. I see it. I go back to Texas now. My neighbors will turn off their phones just to catch up with me. It's so different. Do you need anything? Are you hungry? My friends here, one of my best friends growing up, JT,
right,
lives in Fontana. Family's from Louisiana. When I come over as grandma, hey baby, you hungry? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Everything. But I just noticed dealing with Californians, they're different. And I'm only like this because we're originally from Michigan. And we still have these Midwest values. Manners, be kind, help that old lady carry that water. When you see a person, show respect. Anytime I talk to somebody who's older than me, I usually say Miss or Mr. My boss, what's up, Mr. Ray? My mom's friend, hey, Miss Pam. It's not Pam or Ray.
let me ask you this then.
Go ahead.
Where are you gonna move? You're gonna get it. Your careers, especially, right? And the home that you're gonna be opening up and all that, right?
Yep.
You're gonna move neighborhoods.
Yep.
You're not gonna be in this I don't know if you're gonna be just trying to go Midwest, but I think we already talked about it, right?
Staying in California.
So then how are you gonna get that sense of community in your family? Are you gonna take it further and not just lead your business, lead your family, but also lead your neighbors and try to bring them together and let's start doing block parties and stuff together to try to re-spark that, because the sense of human connection has been lost. And if you're in an environment like you said, an environment like California, where that's not being really cultivated, right? Do you think that's the best environment to raise a child? Because that's what I'm nervous about.
If you want me to be honest,
shoot,
hell no. Everybody should get out of California. Unless they said LA's only fun if you have over $50 million. That's what they said. It's too expensive here. Inflation is crazy.
Yeah, that's facts.
So I'm only staying here because, for one, my family's here, and I want my kids to grow up around their grandma, their grandpa, their auntie, their uncle, and their cousins. So that's why I'm here.
Right.
And number two, my wife is a marriage and family therapist. She can only practice in the state of California.
Right. So
we can't leave. If gas gets $50 a gallon, we're stuck.
Right.
Because her license is here in the state of California.
Right.
But what I'm going to do for me and mine, I'm going to teach my kids the principles my parents taught me, specifically California parents.
So it starts in the family.
And then I'm going to do what I do. I can't control what everybody else does. But when I go to the grocery store, I'm going to keep asking that lady if she needs help carrying her waters to her car. And my son and daughter, they're going to watch me do that growing up.
So then this is working out really well, because now that you're on this subject, college, your son, you instilled all this family dynamics, right?
Yep. And wait, really quick, before we get there, I want to say one more thing.
Shoot.
So watch this. Me and my wife were talking about today when we were walking this morning.
Right.
We're like, babe, we just want to have a home. We want to get a nice big crib in the IE.
Right.
Where our house is the house our friends' kids friends come over. Hey, man, come to my house, bro. I want it to be like this when they come in. Hey, bro, you hungry? My mom got food on the stove. Hey, bro, you thirsty? You need anything? I want to teach my kids service, because that's what I learned from my California parents. Service. So I can't change my neighborhood, but I can change and show and be that in front of my kids, so then they do it. So to answer your original question, I want to show my kids. I'm going to still do what I do when I go to the grocery store. And then my home that I run, the Lighthouse, I'm going to teach those kids in that home those principles.
So then, because I've kind of been on the other side, right, of someone not asking, right, of like, hey, look, you can come over there, because my literal best friend, like the homie, to this day, we still interact with each other. It's probably the only person I ever interacted with. I keep real close friends with him. And I would be allowed to come over to his house anytime, right? But he would not be allowed to come over mine.
Why?
So he's like kind of white passing, right? His family's very, very highly religious. My family's maybe Jovonni Christian, right? So we're very religious as well. But he has a lot of family, right? Big family, 5 brothers, and doesn't really have the sense of community that his parents didn't really give him the extension of being able to come over to my family. I don't know why. White, Samoan, but white, definitely white.
They wouldn't let him come to your house. No,
he never slept in my house ever.
Interesting. You never knew why?
Never. I always asked. I mean, still interact with his parents. I always asked. So I say, hey, so how come he never not once came over my house? She's like, oh, just.
What does your boy say though?
Well, he never really noticed. Isn't that weird?
Wow.
It just never clicked to him. Yeah.
Can we talk about something really quick?
Yes.
This is deep.
Yeah, shoot.
I think you could be friends with other people who don't look like you, right?
Right.
I'm all for that.
Right.
But I think there's a level of comfortability when you are friends with your own people.
I think that sense is true.
Like, watch this. You go over a black person's house, right? Your mom. Don't be acting a fool over there. Be respectful. You're gonna hear from the black mom. Don't be acting a fool upstairs, y'all.
My mom always be heat.
Don't be in and out this house. Pick one or the other.
Right.
You know what to expect.
Right.
There's a level of comfort because you know our moms are probably similar, right?
Right.
Because it's the same race.
Right.
So I'm not saying I'm against friendship with other races. I'm all for it. But just know it is going to be a little different depending on how you were raised.
Yo, and it's, you know who told me this? You know, and I'm a kid, right? So I don't really care. It was never like, but you know who actually brought it to my attention? And I never realized it until like I got into college. My mom. She was like, "Hey, you ever noticed that Nate has not ever once slept over at our house?" And I just started trying to remember. I was like, "That's not true, Mom."
You're like, nah, he was here. Hey, actually, he went home at 7.
Yeah, deadass.
Nah, he went home at 8.
Never, not once, ever. And we live across the street.
Wow. Oh. Wow.
Right around the corner. Okay. 1 minute walk.
Got it.
Like,
wow.
If that. Yeah. I would sleep in his house. I can't even count the amount of times I slept in his home.
But he wouldn't be able to sleep over your house.
I don't know why. Never knew why. And
you grew up with a mom and dad in the home?
Oh yeah, both my parents there. My father military. My mother works righteous. Says we about their business. Never knew why.
I would love.
You need to ask him that.
No, it's great.
No, gee, bro, how come you never slept over, bro?
No, deadass.
Just be honest.
Hey, we gonna bring it on the podcast, bro. It was one of those things where you just don't know, right? And I think that's why I can understand that because that's kind of how I was raised, right? So I've always if anyone need anything, come over to the spy. I got you. Let's take care of you. You know, I've never really kind of been the bullying type. I've always been I want to just make friends with everyone type, but I don't want to get too close. I don't want to get too close because I don't know you. You know, I never had that sense of just like full on trust. Like, yo, we're gonna just be bonding. I've always been like, all right, I'm gonna hang out with the jocks. I'm gonna hang out with some gangs over here today. I'm gonna hang out with the girls today. I'm gonna hang out with the white boys over here. I'm gonna be with the Asian guys. We're gonna play Yu-Gi-Oh.
I want to push back.
Shoot.
Why don't you have that trust when you grow up with two parents who are both your biological mom and dad in the same home?
Why don't I have that?
I feel like you should have that trust because you grew up with that trust. I feel like you're more secure than at least the people I grew up with, all my black homies who only had one parent.
I was the only child.
Oh, okay.
I was the only child.
So no siblings.
None. I had cousins, but they were very far away. I was alone. So most of my life I just spent chilling in the pad. I played World of Warcraft on gaming. I was doing.
It's just you.
Damn.
It's you and the homie I and the homie me.
That ass. And so it was fun. It was funny because I never really asked for anything. I didn't ask for anything. I didn't really want anything. I just wanted I just wanted time. That's why not time with my parents or I just wanted time to do whatever I wanted to do. And whatever that, and me and my father had a very hard relationship, very, very strict, very uncomfortable relationship.
Okay.
And so college was something that was really exciting for me.
Yeah.
Because
where did you go to?
I went to Cal State East Bay in San Francisco.
Okay, so you went up north.
I went to Oakland. And so when I went to Oakland, that was
culture shift.
Game changing, because this is the first time I seen when the LA Twerk team was going you know what I mean, LA, you know what I mean, yo, I was wilding. This was amazing. So Twerk Fest was on. It was on and popping, and Oakland was like a really big.
Twerk Fest.
Dude, it was great. Oh my God, I was blessed and never stressed.
Oh my God.
So it was great. It was a great time to be alive, dude. Oakland was like holy shit. San Jose around the corner. I loved the Bay.
It's popping.
Love the Bay.
Everything, I know.
Love the Bay. But that's like, but I think that was the time I really kind of recognized, like, whoa, I've been really kind of, I didn't do enough in high school. I didn't do enough of like that socializing aspect, which is why I was my question for you, you know, like, my father and my parents raised me really well. Most people, I feel like they do whatever they can. My parents were never really home. They would work all day grinding. But we would do a lot of things, right? So we would go like, hey, we're going to go on a trip to New York. We're going to go on a trip to Disneyland. We're going on a trip, right? But they would get back home around 8, but they would leave at 8. So I'd just be like chilling all day myself, you know?
You wouldn't go with them?
No, they go to work, right? So they would leave.
No, I'm talking about the trips. Would you go on trips with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going on trips with them. Yeah, we would just do a lot of trips. When I went to college, it was the first sense of just kind of like, this is when Occupy Wall Street was going on. So I don't know if you're familiar with that what was going on with Occupy.
I I've heard about it, but I forgot.
I would love to
don't know
break
off
it
the top of
down.
my head.
I would love to break this down.
Better be good, bro. Let me know.
So Occupy was all about big government and how government and Wall Street was just fucking people. And they're like, fuck Wall Street, fuck big government. We're gonna go and do our own things. We want to be we don't want to be with these big banks anymore.
Okay.
Fuck the big banks. This was in 2011, right?
Okay.
We want to go and start our own institutions. This is when Bitcoin came out. Like when Bitcoin was like 1 penny and you could buy like 20 of them.
Who wishes they can get in on?
Yo, so I mean I was in Berkeley. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was like, nah, these people are crazy because you sitting in the what's up? We were sitting in the lab, right?
Yeah.
We were sitting up in literally, like quite literally, we were sitting up in tents. Everyone was smoking weed.
Okay.
Everyone drinking. I'm seeing girls getting ran through in a tent. I'm just like, what is happening?
Wow.
In this? It was anarchy.
Okay.
That was the whole premise. We don't need government. Let us just be, just be. Like we start our own. They like fenced it off. And we would start our own government. They had their own city council in it.
Stupid, bro.
But what was the
saying.
No, listen. No, listen. You had to be there. No, it was one of those experiences where when you see, and obviously, that's when like I started getting really into politics because it was one of those things where you kind of see these people feeling like they're fighting for something. Like,
But fighting for what?
Because
you just said somebody's getting ran through and they're just smoking in a tent.
Well,
what are you fighting for?
Hold on.
Do what you want at that moment.
You know, it was like girls walking out with no shirts on. It was just, but that's against the law. All these things are against the law, and nothing's happening to these people. So the sense was just like
they're like, I can't turn on red. I'm gonna turn on red.
Well, no. The idea is that you have government who just bailed out all these big banks. All these, all these Wall Street brokers and all these other people, my parents, your parents, or other people's parents, right, have to figure out how to pay their bills and pay all their finances and everything because of the decisions that someone else had made, right? And they did illegal things that they were not supposed to do, right? Bank credit swaps and stuff like that, right? So essentially, buying triple C loans and repackaging them and selling them as like the triple A's and our best things and since sliced bread and these homes, and they're giving false mortgages to people, and all these are shady businesses, but they get bailed out and they break laws and they don't go to jail. And these people are just getting actually bailed out from a government to be able to continue doing the actions that they have. So if that's the life I have to live in, right? Fuck it, I'm gonna go off, and then so I'm gonna do all these. I would, obviously they don't have money, right? So all they're gonna do is just do whatever they can to try and just be against the system, and I'm gonna be against the system. And
What did you do?
I didn't do shit. I was just watching. I was wilding. I literally didn't do anything. I was just like, this is insane. These people are fucking wild. Because if it's smoking weed in public spaces. This is in the middle of San Francisco, like in Barcadero. Like this is like we're talking about right near Berkeley as well too. Like you're looking at a cop and you're hitting a blunt, and that's 10 years. That's 10 years right there, and the cop's just staring at you, and just looking at this dude doing it, and he's just like you ain't gonna do nothing. Like it was just insane,
Anarchy.
absolute.
Like
It was one of those experiences where I was just like, okay, because my father's military. And so all these rules and regulations and stuff that he put me through, right, in an instant could just be destroyed. So that's what my question is for you. And I built it up to this level.
Okay.
Are you going to put your kid through college, right? I don't know where you lean, left or right, but in the institutions where when someone else gets the 4 years to slowly break and build their own ideology. Okay.
I'm glad you asked me.
Curious.
As a man, you got to think ahead. Point blank. Period. You gotta plan for the future. As a man,
Right.
you be thinking ahead. So I already got a plan for my son. I'm putting him in sports when he's young.
Okay.
Get him in as early as possible. Football or basketball.
Okay.
Not baseball, not soccer, not any other sport. I want to have him run track in the off season to keep him in shape. Do you know what? You know you can profit off your image and likeness when you're a kid now. Do you know that?
Yeah.
When you're in middle school, when you're in high school, the money is in football and basketball. So my goal for my son is to have him play football or basketball, whichever one he's better at. Start him at age 4 when you can start them. Have him train him. So by the time he's in high school, he's getting millions and he hasn't even committed to a college yet. I'll give you an example. There's a kid named Mikey Williams that lives in San Ysidro at the border, right below San Diego. right before Tijuana. He has millions on top of millions, and he's only a senior in high school because they passed the law, the NCAA, where you can profit off your image and likeness. So if you're smart, the money's not in baseball, the money's not in soccer, it's not in golf, it's in football and basketball. So then by the time he gets to college, God willing, he'll stay there 3 years, and he's good enough to be a first-round draft pick for the NFL. Or the other way, he goes to college for 1 year, plays, and gets drafted. But I want him to have millions before that because he's that good at basketball.
Okay, what about CT?
So then he's not there to answer your question. So he's not there those 4 years, and then you're corrupting my son's head.
Okay, you want to? All right, so I have a question that I think I can hold on to it. You're saying that you'll be able to get so, and again, that's a really cool strategy, right?
He doesn't even have to go to college. If he can make millions before that, I'm telling you, Mikey Williams, look him up. He's a real kid. He does not have to go to college. He's made so much money from endorsements.
Sarah, can you pull that up? I don't know if he's saying Mikey Williams.
Mikey Williams. If he manages his money correct, he doesn't have to go to the NBA or go to college. He can start multiple businesses right now at 17 because he's been impacted by profiting off your image and likeness. He's made money through his high school career just for being a basketball player.
But hold up, though. Is this just like brand deals? Is this what?
This is everything. He has brand deals, anything you can think of. I don't know the specifics of his deals,
sure.
But he has millions. You could be a 5-star recruit and make money through football or basketball. That's why if you're smart, it makes sense if you have a son to put him in football and basketball. It only benefits you, him, and your household.
Yeah, my father wanted me put in football, so...
LeVar, you know who LeVar Ball is, right?
Of course.
People can get mad at LeVar all they want. Any young black kid with a dad would want a black dad who believes in them.
Facts.
That's a fact. LeVar Ball did it right, bro.
Holy shit.
They have their own
get that tattooed. Any black tattoo.
They have their own water.
Wow.
They live in Chino Hills at the top of the hills. They have money without their 2 sons being in the NBA. He did it right.
Yeah, he did.
I don't care what nobody says. They don't need the NBA. They don't need college. They have multiple streams of income, and they have a business that makes multi-million dollars. Literally, millions of dollars. So that's my strategy. I can't speak for everybody else.
See, the good thing about being a father is that you can lead people.
Exactly.
You can lead your son into passions that you have, right? As long as you have fire, and you can keep him close to the fire, right? And he likes to, he's not too burned, right? Because this fire is dangerous, right? If you get too close, you get scared, you run away.
Dude, we live in a different time now. Your kid, you can be on Instagram, get your page popping, and get a brand deal from a company and make thousands. I just had a homie make $17,000 off a brand deal for him opening up for an artist.
Damn.
But he busted his butt for 2 years.
That's grinding.
Posting videos. So we're in a different time, and our kids are going to be able to benefit from it.
That's huge.
So even if my kid doesn't want to play football and basketball forever, I'm going to have him milk that up until he's a senior in high school.
Right.
And then when he graduates, God willing, he has all this money. He can go, you know what? I want to go to college and get a business degree. Or you know what, Dad? I want to open up a car wash. I want to open up a transitional house for kids who age out the system like you. Cool, we got the money to fund it. Let's go. We don't need nobody. So there's different avenues. We live in a different time. Our parents grew up in, you had to work. There's no other way around it. You had to work. You had to go to, at least my family, you had to go to a factory. My grandpa worked in a factory. My grandma worked for General Motors. My dad worked for 3M. Black people didn't have businesses back then like that.
No.
There was no choice. Now we live in a time where people can create content in their home. I did a video with my wife 4 days ago. 2.2 million views.
Yeah, I saw.
It's going crazy.
Yo, I see you, bro.
Most of my videos I do are in my home.
Right.
And now on Instagram, my settings have changed. Hey, you can now get brand deals. I have different settings than everybody else. I've noticed that now.
Right.
Because they see my trajectory of my content going up. They said they're going to start paying me for my reels. This is a different time.
Right.
So I don't believe somebody has to go to college where I have a master's of science in higher education administration. I'm all for college. I think college can change your life. I think you should go to college.
Did you go in person, or were you more just like online courses, knock it out?
For my master's? Online because of COVID.
See, you kind of were able to
my
bother
bachelor's
me.
in person.
Okay.
But I do think people should go to college because it can only benefit you, I feel like.
See, you're right. You're very well balanced. You're not. See, one of the things that I feel like was happening.
Man.
Look. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Right.
One of the things I feel like right now is that was really dangerous is if you find yourself too polarized, right? Too left or too right.
Exactly.
Right, you're on one side of the spectrum where you're just all absolutely unhinged, but you have another side of the spectrum where you're also absolutely unhinged, right? And I like what Gary Vee says. He says a lot of like, try to be more purple, right? Don't be
Everything's
too
not black and white.
Don't be
Some
too red.
stuff
Don't
is
be
gray.
too blue. Yeah, 100%. You got to be more. You got to try to be more gray because there's something right on both of those sides, right? Obviously, maybe in certain sections where there's one's completely right, there's some sections where one's kind of right, the other one's kind of right. But that's interesting perspective where you have this balance where you recognize that, hey, look. Now I have a question. Then let me ask you this: do you feel like college was worth the time? And then I have a separate question. The reason I'm keeping them separate. Do you think that college was worth the money?
Yes.
To both.
Yes, to both.
So see, this is
Give you
where
an example real quick.
Shoot.
I went to college.
Right.
I was friends with my boy, white boy, for 8 years. And one day he says, how much money you got saved up? I'm like, I got X amount. He's like, I'm going to teach you how to invest. He made me over $100,000 because me and him were friends for 7 years. If I never went to college, I would have never met him.
Is all that money for just one? For some, I mean, that's $100,000. That pays off.
Now, I didn't steward it right. I lost it.
But that's not. Hey, listen, that's
The
like.
point is, I met him because I went to college. It changed my life for a season, and I learned so much. Guess what? I know what to do different now.
Sure.
But because of that relationship, 7 years of friendship, I didn't even know he came from a wealthy home. He was just my boy.
Huge.
But if I never went to college, if I stayed around here, just got a job, went to junior college, never left, that would have never happened.
So then let me bring you to the other question that I have. You're saying that it's okay if your son doesn't go because he has the resources and the money to be able to scale.
Exactly.
So you're saying that the only real substitute for college is if you can get the income before then.
Yes.
That's interesting. Why is the money aspect so important? I thought it's from what you explained, it was the connections aspect of college. What do you think why the money that can get you out versus the
Well, I think you need both, for one.
Sure, I agree.
think you need both. But I just think it's always good to have that. If my son or daughter can make that before, God forbid, I pass or me and my wife pass, and I'll teach them how to steward that money.
Huge.
And when I'm gone, I know they'll be all right. And then hopefully you go to college and you make better connections.
All right.
That open up an opportunity like I had. But if I can teach them how to get a bag before, what? That'd be great. So then by the time they're my age, they're further ahead than me. My goal is to have my kids further ahead than me at this age.
See, one of the things that I feel a little nervous about is trying to is absolutes, right? I don't have children. We talked. The last thing you said to me before you left, he's like, "You need to have. Yo, where you having that kid, bro? Time's running out." I was like, "Fuck." Oh,
Bro, do the math. How old are you?
I'm 29.
29. You're 39. Your kid's 10. 49. Your kid's 20.
I know,
Do the
bro.
math. You don't want to have a 1-year-old at 38 and then you're 48 and your kid's 10 and then you're 58 and your kid's 20 and you're pushing 60. Just do the math. It comes down to math sometimes. Do the math, bro.
All right, bro. Yeah, damn.
Oh, watch this. Don't you want to be able to throw a football with your kid?
Absolutely. You know, I
Take him
got
to the-
good
Take him
elbows.
to the park. The park and play basketball.
Run it, yeah.
I know you want that.
Yeah.
Every man wants that.
Hell yeah.
You want to do that at 52 with a 10-year-old? So just think. Sometimes it's about the numbers.
Sometimes about the numbers. Sometimes that motivates you though too.
And I'll tell you what, the only reason why
grind
I'm
harder.
able to speak from this perspective, like you said, I'm balanced. I never thought about that because I just do what I saw.
Sure.
All this came when I had a kid. Because what did I say? Man, father, husband. Nobody's getting around this, bro. I'm so hard on that. Man, father, husband. All the cylinders in your head go off when you have that. It clicks. Balance.
I'm a man.
You
I'm a
think
fa-
20
I'm a
steps
man.
ahead.
I'm a husband, but yet a father. So you're saying that.
So you're incomplete.
So it's like this. It's like having a tripod and one of your legs just limping. Like you don't have.
Oh my
I
God,
don't.
that's the best example I've ever heard. Just like that camera right there.
That ass, yeah.
It's leaning. I'm telling you, I think so.
So what
far ahead
unlocks?
now.
What's the third eye, bro? What unlocks?
It's when that kid comes out, bro.
What happens, bro? You gotta tell me. Just tell me the details now, so I can.
Okay.
So
I'll tell you. Literally, the kid comes out,
Yeah.
and then you're like, you process,
right.
and you go, oh my gosh, nothing else matters. And then you look at your wife, and then you look at your kid, and you go, this is the only thing that matters right now. And you go, I would do anything for her and him or her. So you just shift. That little boy stuff goes away, man. The selfishness is still there a little bit, but
Sure.
it's gone.
That's the demonization for me, dude. It's the selfishness. I'm not gonna lie.
But that's
My wife's right here.
because you're an only child too. So it's
listen. Yes, I'm used.
So
to
you need to hurry up and get started.
Listen,
because you need to unlearn some patterns.
No, wait, hold up.
I'm on you right now.
Wait. It's about.
This is good.
Why are you interviewing? Hey, whose name is on this right now, man? It's his name, not me, right?
It's good.
Okay, so then, all right, look, let's move on to the next thing, man. I can't.
Okay.
I'm joking. No, let's stay on it. So I think that for me, one of the biggest problems I've had most recently is the selfishness. And it's not the sense that I don't want to go and I don't want to grind. I don't want to get after it. I don't want to try my hardest to do the best I can to achieve the goals that I have. But there is a sense of like, I got time. Like just you know, that little thing in the back of your head, like I got time. I got time. And that was happening 4 years ago. And now 4 years later, I'm moving, but I feel like I'm dragging. I don't know how to explain it. It's not that there's anything is weighing me down. Mm-hmm. It's essentially it's.
I know what it is.
It's. Okay.
Let me answer you.
Cares? All right.
What if that's God nudging at you, saying it's time to transition? That means jump into the next season.
You know what? You know what it feels like? It feels like you ever drove a stick? Or you drove a stick and you had the car in like third and it's like and you're like, why am I not going faster?
Bro,
that's what it feels like.
I'm giving you the answer. There are some people who I know who I grew up with who are still doing the same things. They never transition with the seasons. In life, you have to transition with the seasons. There's a time to prep. There's a time to have fun. There's a time to put your head down. You're probably feeling that nudge because it's time to go to the next season. So God's going like this to you. I'm going to make you feel uncomfortable till you hear me. He's nudging you. What if the next season is fatherhood? So, and you're still focused on this season, and God's like, you need to look over
you sure
here.
It's not like, you sure it's not man, husband, house? You sure it's not that? I'm pretty sure it's like a homeowner, right? Isn't it like El Dueño?
I'm sure you can do both. I'm going to give you an example.
Okay.
Leadership. I told my wife when we got married, I want to have a kid. But I'm going to go do all my master's. I said, we'll make it work. She said, how? I said, do you trust me? Yep. I said, I'll get you pregnant. We'll have a kid. You'll have the baby.
You'll
graduate a semester later. You'll do your internship. I'll run a business. I'll stay home with the kid while you do your internship. And you still graduate just a semester later. Let's go. My plan worked.
How old were you?
27.
Fuck.
28.
God damn, Sarah.
My mom was like, you guys are having a kid and she's not done with school? The whole time I'm sitting there quiet and confident. I know what I'm doing, bro. For one, because I watched my dad move. So I know how to be because I had a dad.
Sure, I do too.
But my plan,
I do, yeah.
That's the point. You know what to do.
Yeah, I know what to do.
Just like me.
Yeah, dude,
my plan worked, bro. My wife had an internship. She was gone almost every day. And me and my son were at home. So he got time with his dad. Well, most young black kids don't have a dad who can stay home. Their dad is gone.
Yeah.
And not in the picture.
Right.
70% of women in the black community are single moms.
Yeah.
That number's astronomical.
It's fucking insane.
So I told my wife and I kept my word. And she still graduated. She still got done, but she was gone almost every day. And I said, I told you, babe, you matter. Because God put something in you too. I have to help. Remember I said you have to cultivate that potential in your wife? She's a marriage and family therapist. That's where her heart's at. So I said, I'll stay home. And I ran my business in the morning or late at night. I grinded, bro. Ran my business in the morning, had my son during the day, and then worked at night. Stop playing with me, bro. That's manhood. But I only think like that because man, father, husband.
Fuck. All right, so next thing, bro, man. Fuck this shit, bro. All right, so listen, we're going to talk about... actually, this actually brings another question. I'm going to skip a few things.
Let's do it.
Divorce. Divorce is on a rise right now.
Crazy.
Divorce is out of insane.
Oh, I got a hard take on this. Let's go.
So we're talking about economy, and the number one reason, statistically, I don't know if you want to confirm this. I see Mikey Williams on there too. How much is the net worth for Mikey Williams, sir? I don't know if it says it on there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it will, but if it does, that'd be cool.
That'd be nuts if he already has a net worth. That's gonna be crazy. Oh shoot, it does. 5 million?
Stop playing. He's not even out of high school.
That's man. What am I doing, sir? What is going on? All right, so So okay,
And he live at home with his mama.
$5 million.
And he goes to high school. He's a senior. He goes to basketball.
He goes to earth science. He goes to English.
Take social studies.
He probably takes, I don't know.
$5 million, and he's barely 19.
Don't you think if you had $5 million, you could change your life forever and set yourself up?
Yeah, man. The rest of the world, dude.
I rest my case.
The world. He's not even graduated high school. He can't be 19.
He's 18. He's probably 17, 18.
Yeah, Jesus. $5 million.
All because somebody told him to pick up a ball.
First off, let's be honest. Do what you're naturally good at. If you're black, everybody listening to this for the black people.
Yeah, man.
Play a sport.
That's
a whole nother conversation.
You know what?
naturally
I want to
gifted at,
talk
bro.
to you about this right here. Actually, we stuck in two different directions right now. Let's stay with Mikey Williams because I'm curious here. I'm a huge track and field fan. I love track. I love running. Running is a big thing for me. I loved running. I really aspired to that. My father wanted me in some sport, so my mother was really not about it. And I think my mom kind of slightly regrets that now. She wished she didn't push that so much because she just didn't want me to get CTE or some crazy shit.
That's totally fair. I agree.
So
My
basketball.
wife says the same thing. I don't want him playing football.
I'm like, babe, we're going to see which one he's better at.
And so one of the things that makes it hard is because we had a guy who worked for me, and he, he's shout outs to my homie, man, and something's off, man.
Played football?
He went to college, and I'll be honest with you, I'll keep it a $1.50. I think someone's laced his weed. I really do. I don't think someone actually. He was. If I'll show you his highlight, we could pull up his highlights right now. Insane. Like, and he was doing great in college. He was playing college, but we saw him on television.
He
like
used to smoke, or
he wasn't like that. He was smoking, but not. When you go to college, you kind of get a little bit unhinged. His coach was really about it, so I'm not on him. So I think he got smacked. I think he hit some stuff, and now he's like. He's just not there anymore.
Wow.
And he worked for us. We were like, hey, look, come work for us. Let's get you hopefully we get you filled out. He made a couple grand. He was cool. He made it do his thing. But you could just tell, like, he couldn't hold a conversation, bro. Couldn't get, And so that's why I think basketball is one of those sports where, like, outside of your ACL, there's not.
Oh yeah, bro,
there's so much upside.
If I'm being honest, like if I have to pick between football and basketball, I'm putting my kid in basketball.
It's like
to avoid all that.
It's crazy how much.
Basketball has guaranteed contracts where football doesn't. So trust me, I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree.
So there's something about that game where it's you got. But why is the WNBA don't get the? Why can't WNBA get? Because women need a sport where they can pop off on. Like a female. I'm just being.
You want a hard take for me?
I would love to hear your
the
thoughts on
WNBA is
that.
boring.
It is, man.
Do you know that the WNBA, a lot of women don't even attend the games?
Yeah.
It's the girls. It's not us. No, really. I saw like a crazy stat about that. The women are girls, either a guy or a girl. They're not going to the games, bro. They don't try to put it all on us.
They actually lose money.
They lose money. There's not a lot of women at What girl in their clique, in their 20s is like, let's go to a WNBA game? You're all about women's rights and stuff. Go support their game, bro. I'm just saying.
What do you think could help?
Guys go to NBA games. Right?
Oh, yeah. All day. I would love to.
Why don't you go to your WNBA games?
So maybe they dropped the court. Maybe they dropped the basket a little bit.
I'm just saying, bro. Like,
what is?
I'm gonna keep it G. It's boring to me. I'm being honest. Women's basketball is boring to me. It just is.
So then, what sport? Because you can't females. And then again, I'm not just.
My daughter,
I know
volleyball or track.
Volleyball.
Track. It's pretty fun.
Volleyball, you become a model after volleyball.
You're like, whoa.
Yo, I'm not trying to say
that's smart. Though.
That ass though. If you look at volleyball girls, dude, all of them, they just built differently.
They are.
The amount of squats you're doing, squats you're doing. Just arms are looking good.
Sounds like it makes sense if you have a son to put him in basketball or football, and it makes sense if you have a daughter to put her in track
Actually, I'm gonna push you on this. Actually,
Go ahead.
I think it's tennis.
Oh, you're right. I never thought about that. You're
I
right.
think it's tennis though.
No, that's true. That's true.
Women in
I just
tennis
didn't think
though.
about that sport. No, you're right. You're right.
I think that's like the avenue
You know what? I
for
think
you.
we just hit on an idea. My daughter's coming. My daughter will be here in March. Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, having a baby girl.
Oh my God.
No, we just hit on an idea.
God damn it, Sarah.
My baby girl.
We might have to talk
Tennis.
tonight.
Tennis.
We might not have to talk. We might have to do something else. Continue. What are you talking about?
Tennis. You're right.
Tennis.
I'm about to turn to Serena Williams, daddy. Come on. But in a healthier version. No, you're totally right. I think tennis.
All right, can we pivot to some? Man, dude, I want to pivot. So we're having such good conversations here.
do it.
What are we looking at time, Sarah? Oh, we're at 55. We're good. Probably maybe 30 minutes left. So this is my question here then. Oh man, I guess that's smart. I've always tried to think about the game I'm playing here, and the way you're playing it's very interesting. The way you play the way you're playing this game. But I definitely let me stay on the same track. How do you feel about the children? Are you in the house apartment?
We're in an apartment.
How do you feel about that? I always feel the worry about children is not having space. I don't really care if they have
That's
their own
what I
room.
feel right now.
Do you feel like that's your son in the dynamic where he's at right now has been okay, or do you feel like it's been like it's hurting him?
It's not that it's hurting him. He just gets bored quickly because there's not a lot of space in our apartment. But when I take him to Gigi and Pawpaw's house, oh man, he has a field day because he can run everywhere because my parents have a nice home.
So it's almost a benefit. It's getting you to go to see family more.
Yep.
And so
But
he gets to interact
it
with
makes me
them.
hungrier to get a house more. So my plan is we're probably going to try to get a home here in a couple months because I want my son to have the space. I notice he is different when he has more space. He's not cooped up like before I left to come here. He was like, outside. He's tired of being in the house right now. It's cold. He's sick, so he can't go out. Where if we got the house, he can run all over. Upstairs, downstairs, garage. I can make that a playroom for him. So yeah, space is huge.
If you're gonna go look for a home, especially next 3 months, buy a house as if you were gonna buy it like a year from now. So if a house costs $500,000, just bid at 340, 380. Just
That's
watch.
smart, man.
Just do it because
It's crazy.
it's their interest rates. Just watch. Just buy as if you're gonna buy a year from now. If you're gonna buy a house right now, and you will get a slamming deal.
That's good advice.
That's
Now you put me on. Now you put me on game. I like that.
yeah. I think that's I think it's important. You can't just be I gotta come with something. I'm just kidding.
No, it's good.
So no. So yeah. I mean that's one of the things I've always worried about, and I thought the house comes first. You kind of listen to the social media thing, right? You buy a house.
But there's nothing wrong with your perspective. We'll push back.
Sure.
You could be a man, father, husband, but yeah, if you have
The house should have already came by now, though. That's
cool.
the issue.
Watch this.
Though.
There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm
Sure.
I'm not disagreeing with you. If you want to get a home before, go ahead.
But that one clock is different from the other. That's the issue. I never thought of that clock like that though.
And the clock is different for women.
We're in an
Me and
interesting
my wife
clock.
talked about it today. She wants to have all the kids before 30.
How old is she?
My wife is 27.
Yeah, Sarah. All right, listen. All right. We're talking. We're gonna have a long talk today. So okay. We're gonna talk about divorce.
Let's do it.
So economy is going just a whole different perspective here. You're having the interest rates are insane right now. Stock market is just demolishing itself. Everything is changing this perspectives. Like you're and the number one reason. Actually, Sarah, I'm sorry. Do you mind just checking this for me? What is the cost? What is the number one reason people get divorced in America?
Wow. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Because I'm curious what ranking wise or what's the reasons people get divorced in America? Money. All right. So This is the time I think right now. I think right now, divorce is about to go insane because you just got out of COVID. You're thinking like, finally, honey.
We
get to breathe. And then.
But then Joe Biden's economy sucks.
Okay, hold up.
I don't care what anybody says. His economy is horrible. I will give you an example.
All right.
When Obama was president, gas was high.
Yeah.
When Trump came into office, gas was low. It doesn't matter how you feel. That's a fact. Joe Biden gets in office, it's high again. So you know what my brain says? When Blue's president, our gas is high. The red is president. Our gas. I'm just talking about gas.
All right, run it. All right, sure.
That's a fact. That's not opinion, bro. That's a fact. That's not my opinion. Gas was lower with Trump. Gas is higher with Biden. It's $7 by my house, bro.
Let's see.
I don't care if you're left or right. You're not telling me you're happy pumping gas.
Hey, look. Hey, I want to see cost of oil right now. Hey, sir, pull that up because listen. Cost of oil right now. Cost of oil right now. And you're talking about Ukraine, right? There was no real. I think honestly, the policies that Biden has put in place most recent, and he's not. How do I say this? Let me pause real quick before we get into this. Right? He's not.
Bro, he's not all the way there, bro.
Okay, no, I'm not. That was not what I was gonna say.
And he said .com. He said DOT, and then he finished spelling out the website. What are you talking about, bro? He's not even. What? He's not there. What? That's what. I'll send you the clip after he said that.
Listen, look. Sure,
I swear he has Alzheimer's or something, bro. Something's going on.
Look, I wouldn't say that. I'm just saying.
Oh,
look,
man.
He's like what 80 something. Like okay.
Oh, what?
Whoa, sorry, sir. What I asked you to pull up real quick? What was it again?
Gas pricing?
Yeah.
The
So
price of oil.
Price of oil.
Oh, oil.
I don't think. I think it was been fairly consistent. I think it has gone up because of Ukraine, but that's because we keep all of our oil.
You think what is consistent?
All of our oil has been in Russia. All of our oil is out there, and when we put a tariff on them, and that's I'm not huge into the international tariffs. And all
I
that.
can't wait to put you on game. Do you know that Biden doesn't want companies drilling here in America because he wants everybody to go green? Do you know that?
Yes, I do know fracking. He doesn't.
Do you know that there's oil in LA off La Brea
No, I did not know that.
that stopped?
No, I did not know that.
But when Trump was president, it was going. So all over America, we have our own oil.
That's true.
Biden is choosing to purchase oil from foreign countries because he wants Americans to go green. Do you know Gavin Newsom wants everybody to go green? That means no regular cars, all electric.
Yes, I know that.
So they're pushing our gas high. You're not telling me how is that good leading? Tell me.
You don't make those decisions so abruptly. I agree. But your kid's going to get older. And at some point, someone has to make a shift or change to go towards a certain direction. I don't agree that I agree the direction that they're going. I sell solar, so you have to understand my perspective.
Okay,
I'm a little biased here.
I can see
so
that.
so I'm in a sense of like, I agree with this kind of Go Green initiative. I agree that saying that these green energy programs are good, beneficial for people. I agree the cost of oil has increased, but that is not the cost of oil because of the production of oil is getting less.
Watch this.
It's because companies such as oil companies are finding an opportunity that they can make more. So they're trying to cash in. But I don't think you can find trends, right, sir? There's no like trends for oil from 2020 till now. I don't think there's anything. It's okay though. I'll check. I'll have to check this out.
All I know is
curious.
I was 16. I just got my license. My dad gave me $10 to leave to go to a football game. He came outside and he had to take my $10 back because he couldn't afford it.
Jesus.
That's when Obama was president and we lost our house.
Whoa. So see,
that's a fact,
so
bro.
Occupy Wall Street when I was there.
That was in 2008.
And that's I didn't see no conservatives sitting there just like, hey, yo, what's up? Hey, guys, fuck the government. Okay, of course they're showing their titties and smoking weed, but hey, look, you got to win some and you lose some. At the end of the day, I feel like there is some sense of loss that the Democrats have. And I'm not so much of a Democrat fan. I lean kind of more of the libertarian side. But one of the things I feel like is definitely off track here is that you can inflate an economy for so long, right? When someone steps into office and says, hey, look, now Biden's president, all of a sudden, day one, since he joins into office, right, all the problems are his. It's his fault. He hasn't done anything. He just walked into the office. All of a sudden, now he's going to be the one that's at fault if the economy's going bad.
Gas prices higher. What was the gas price when Trump was president? Just answer me.
I wasn't in California. I was in Arizona. Life was great out there.
It was 4 or 3. It was 3.33 by my house.
Sure.
So you're telling me I'm lying?
I'm not saying you're lying.
I'm not capping. He comes into office. Why did the gas prices change?
That's like saying that's like.
Let's go back to your question about divorce. The number one leading cause for divorce
is money.
So we can say essentially he's not giving us the gun
right.
or the bullets, but he's starting the little fire. Everything is expensive. Eggs and bread cost more money when he's in office. It wasn't like that when Trump was in office.
Okay, but that's just not how the economy works. one person doesn't step into office, Biden has nothing to do. That's the Federal Reserve. What happens with that? Now, oil initiatives, I can't fight you on that. That's oil initiative. Oil is all done by, it's international laws and how people want to do tariffs, and that's fair. But there's so much more to the economy that you have outside of just oil, right? It just so happens in California we have to drive miles and miles to areas where we want to go to be able to get any sense or form of just just get anything from that.
But I want you to be honest.
Okay, I'll keep it a step.
Don't think about where you are financially. I want you to think about the average Californian.
Sure.
Who's not a 1%er.
That's fair.
Newsom is bleeding people out.
Yes, taxes are high.
Gas, taxes, food. Be honest. He's bleeding the regular Californian out. That's a Democrat, bro. He's bleeding the average person out.
Income taxes came in, and which is the number one reason why people don't have a lot of resources. I believe that was from a Republican. And income taxes is a promise from that in the future that they were going to remove them. But year over year, they keep increasing it. That's a big reason to why people don't have resources. I can understand you might like all the other policies of California. But if you're getting like siphoned from all the income that you have, you're going to want to move to Texas.
That's why a lot of Californians are
going to want to move to Florida.
Just answer me this. Why are they leaving? If a Democrat leader is so good, why are Californians moving away?
Income tax.
See, so what you feel and what is actually happening is different.
I'm not saying how I feel. I'm saying I don't want to go there.
Away.
I moved here. I moved from a red state, Arizona, and I moved here to California. Okay, and as anyone knows, because I have to pay these taxes, I could definitely understand why people are trying to leave. I get it. Especially because it's not easy trying to put yourself in an environment, especially in an economy like this. It is really difficult.
It's tough right now, man.
And but I just want to make sure that we're keeping it a buck here. The reason why the economy is the way it is, the cost of everything has inflated so high, is not because of Biden. It's not because of what's it called of Trump. It's a little bit because of Obama, because he bailed out those companies, right? It's because of like big banks and those avenues. It has been accumulating over like literally almost 10 years, 15 years. It's been slowly but surely inching and getting higher and higher, right? We have just now finally hit the crack. The balloon has popped, right? So now we're on a free fall, and families are about to get the squeeze. And if you're looking at your wife right now, if you're looking at your husband, and you're looking at each other like, hey, what's gonna happen? I feel bad. Did you get the? Have you seen this? There was a report. Interest, not just foreclosures. Do you want to guess how much has increased last year to now?
Wow, tell me. I have no clue.
It's increased. I think it's 3,000%.
So
I want to Google that because I'm pretty sure it's either 3,000. I think it's 3,000. It has foreclosures have people are about. I mean, that was last year to this year, this year to next year.
Man.
And for me, as someone who is doing fairly well, that puts me in a position where it's a benefit. I could just steal a house low key. Like
that's true. Also, that's true.
But I also feel like as if like that information is out there though. Like you have, all these resources to recognize that there's so many things that are putting people in these areas.
TikTok helps now. It's put all that out there. You're totally right. I agree.
So do we blame Biden, or do you blame the decisions that people have made that got them in the positions that they're in? I can't blame anyone to like, oh my gosh, I hate the taxes in California. People have voted for this, right? We are the voters for these individuals, right? It's not like someone just forced our hand to make these choices. I chose to move here, my business. So I choose to to experience what I'm experiencing now, the good, the ability to be able to sit down with you and have this conversation. Yeah. But also, I'm going to be taxed higher. So what do you think? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about I
told you how I felt.
Whose blame? No, whose blame is it? Is it in the individual? Do we blame this random God in the sky? Is Biden?
I'll use myself as an example. I told you I made all that money, right? I didn't steward it correctly. So at the end of the day, as a man, because as a man, you got to take responsibility. That falls on me and my shoulders. Number one. That falls on me for not being a good steward. So that's the answer to it. If I was a good steward, I'd be in a different position right now. So that's really what it comes down to. Don't matter who it is. As a man, you still have to adjust and adapt. And at the end of the day, it's on you to put food on the table.
So why would people quit their relationships when it's almost easier to survive alone? I mean, survive together. Right?
I'll tell you.
You can combine income.
I'll tell you why. Because men probably aren't leading correctly. If you lead your household correctly, your wife will trust you. Point blank, period. Give your wife a plan that makes sense. Women like a plan.
Damn. Oh, shit.
Have a plan, bro.
Oh, shit.
I don't have a lot of money right now, bro. But I have a plan and my wife trusts me.
Right.
I have a plan that's going to work. Babe, I want to open up this home. I put $17,000 into the lighthouse. Business proposal at 250 pages. I did not come this far to not get this house opened. It says in the Bible, take care of the widows and the orphans. So watch this. God has to open up my home because it makes him look good, not me. In order for him to be true who he is, he has to open up this home because I've put in all the work. Now there's nothing more I can do. Bring somebody to fund it. And that's what I tell my wife. I'm doing something bigger than just running a regular ass business. I'm trying to impact kids for the Lord. So I tell my wife, you sleep comfortably at night because this is going to get going. Point blank, period. And my wife goes to sleep with that hope. My wife is a marriage and family therapist. She's going to be able to bring in money, bro. She just graduated. We're waiting on a job to call her back. So we're fine on her side or my side. My wife trusts me. So God willing, I hope we don't get a divorce. But because I have a plan, though. Just like I had a plan to get her pregnant while she was in school. And that plan worked. So I built trust with my wife. I don't know what these other jokers are doing in their marriages and why they're getting divorced. Because you're not leading correctly. I don't care what nobody says. It's on the man, bro.
Yo, I feel that. I think
it's on the man.
So,
it's on the man to lead your house.
You know what? I'm gonna go off then. Let's get it. I'm gonna take the other side. I'm gonna take the other side. I'm gonna take the weak man approach. You only can go and move if you're not being held down, right? The ability to be able to have a man at peace is very different from a man at war, right? Because a man at war can't think straight. The man at war, especially if they're not prepared, right?
Have you seen Mulan? Man, you must be quick as a coursing river with all the force of a great typhoon.
Yeah, man. Yo, let's
just listen to Mulan and you'll know how to be a man, bro. I just want to say that.
Like that ass Asians got, dude. I'm telling you, man.
Man. Strength of a raging fire, mysterious as the dark side.
Oh, yo, facts.
The moon,
dude. I'm listening. Bro. I'm hearing you, but but there is some sense of. You can have a great man,
okay,
but next to a not great woman can tear. That's
true.
No matter how strong you are, over time, right. You're like you know what I'm saying? So then so if you are in a position and you're, let's say you need to be around someone who's financially stable. You need to be around someone who has, actually, let me take that back. You need to be around someone who's mentally stable. Right, because that mental side of things allows you to be able to have the freedom and peace and be able to move. And I call it peace, love, and happiness. Right, you want to have that kind of peace, love, and happiness. That sense of like, hey, I'm not in this.
Question again. Tell me your question. I'm trying to
find I'm gonna. I'll be more structured here. Right, you have a man who wants to be in what's called a peace, love, and happiness type of space. Right, but there also is they have to provide. Right, and for this economy. And the number one reason why people are getting divorces is money. Right. Does that mean that if that man cannot provide money, that he no longer deserves peace, love, and or happiness? Because you mentioned to me earlier, and I'll elaborate here. You mentioned to me earlier that the women's job, not in a job or per se, but is nurturing. right?
Nurture the home, caretaker of the home.
So if one man does not provide their part, does that mean the women can say, okay, well then you don't deserve my part, or you understand what that's
okay? I'll use myself as an example. It's the only way to answer it. I've applied to 50 million jobs. I've gone to interviews. I have a master's degree. No callback. But I still run my business and I make just enough to get by. My wife looks at me and goes, babe, I know you're trying your best. So to answer your question, yeah, you cannot make money, but shoot, you better get your ass up every day and try. And let's be real. Let's just follow some principles.
Let's do it.
I call them principles that everybody should follow. Biblical principles, okay? You work hard, you're going to get something. Point blank period. Work hard and trust that God's going to provide for you and you'll be taken care of. One time I didn't have my rent on the day it was due. The homie says, here's $1,000. That's because I trust him and I did everything in my power to try to get a job. There's nothing more I can do. So, as a man, you have to provide. You have to. Trust that God's going to open up an opportunity for you.
See, but
put in the effort, like I said.
You know how many applications I did? You know how many interviews I sat through?
I have a master's degree. I went to go apply to be a janitor at a car lot, bro. And they were like, you're overqualified. I said, but I got to provide. And I think God saw my efforts, and that's why I got my $1,000 from my rent that month. You have to try, and your wife will respect you. You have to try. That's the answer. Are you trying? Don't be no lazy ass nigga. Are you trying, bro?
there's a limit. Everyone has their own, right? I call it the expiration date. You're essentially you're on the shelf.
Yep.
And if you don't got some good refrigeration or some good freezing point,
yep,
at some point you're gonna spoil out. Is there like a rejuvenation type of thing? You know, like is there like the milk gets younger? One thing I find is interesting in relationships is like wine, right? Right. You can't go backwards with wine, right? It's like you can't go backwards with milk. You know, it's not like you can take bad milk and turn it to good, right? It's already spoiled. It's done. You know, you have these relationships that feel like, man, they're rotten inside the bone, right? But I have a friend, right? And homie struggling, bro, like struggling. And
oh, I got an answer for you. This is good.
So I'm wondering, like, I'm curious, like the wine, you know, obviously in certain situations, the darker, the longer, the better it could be, the better it could taste, right? But like coffee, if it sits there for too long, it gets bitter. You know, what's the salvation? What's the refreshment? What brings it back, if it's possible?
You're talking about in a relationship, in a marriage?
Is it even possible? If something goes bad, is it possible to bring it back to life?
Simple answer. I heard this from Colin Cowherd. He's a sports podcaster. In life, in a relationship with your spouse, you can be about two perspectives. You can be right, or you can be about getting it right. Relationships sour because people want to be right. With my wife, we are about getting it right. Love is not enough. You need to be practical. You need to have tools on your belt. Well, I grew up in a home where I saw it was more about being right from a parent. So I told myself, I'm going to make myself about getting it right. I'm going to marry somebody who's about getting it right. So hopefully it doesn't go sour, because after we argue, we say, hey, I'm sorry, because we're about what? Getting it right.
You're taking the time. It's really interesting.
I'll tell you, real quick, I want to touch this real quick.
Run it.
People get divorced because nobody wants to keep losing. Do you know what that means?
No one keeps losing.
You get in an argument. Oh, man, he was right. I was wrong. 10 years later, oh, man, he was right. 11 years later, oh, yeah, he was right. He was right. You lost all those arguments, so you feel defeated, and that's why your relationship is sour, which is leading you to divorce. That's why it's important to apologize.
Whoa.
That's a bomb, bro.
Whoa.
Nobody wants to keep losing. So you know what me and my wife do? We have a rule, bro. Even if I'm right and I know I'm right, there's times when we argue and I apologize. Even if she's right and she knows she's right, there's times when she argues and apologizes. My dad taught me that, bro.
See, okay.
Nobody wants to keep losing.
Holy shit. So
that's a bomb, bro. That solves most of people's problems in their marriage. Apologize even when you know you're right, so your spouse can feel like they got the victory.
Because if you keep arguing with her for years to come, she's going to say, I'm done with you because you're always right. Apologize, even if you are right. So you can keep that relationship and you can keep that healthy marriage in front of your kids.
How do you? So one of the things here is that
That's a gym, bro.
No, dude. That's why I need to ask you,
man.
No, I'm kind of like trying to put this in perspective because your wife is a marriage and family therapist.
Yes.
Both of my parents are marriage and family therapists. And one of the things I really pride myself on is just trying to be really well rounded and grounded. I'm not too hot. I'm not too cold. You know, you were never gonna see me in a corner trying to kill myself. You'll never see me fucking losing my shit, shooting up the whole school. Like, you know, I'm being fucking for real.
Yeah.
I'm a person I believe is just saying, look, hey, I'm always trying to keep the peace. You know, keep it copacetic. Let's move on.
Live at peace with everybody if you can. I believe in that too.
But
great.
there's some times where like I think I learned from my wife. And I almost envy this. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna share. Like I have some demons, right? I envy this.
We all do.
She has this sense of being able to just turn on the heat, and it's appropriate, right? Where some server is trying to disrespect you, some guy walking on the street, some cards, right. But for me, I'm always kind of like, let it go. Yeah, let it go. And I think it gets that example, like you were saying, that sense of just like. Always losing. And that's what it low key. I never seen it that way. I've always been like, it's all good. Let's move on. Right. I always felt that it was more of a sense of like, hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm moving forward. I'm moving after, you know? But lately, like I've been telling you, it feels, even now I feel like I'm, and I'm just like, something's bothering me. Like something that does not let me throw it in like that, you know, throw it in, you know, fifth, like let us get it. I think it's that just, I don't want to say it that kind of fuck it type of thing, but just more of just like, hey, to be able to go and turn on the heat and turn on just like, you know, and to damn, I don't even know how to put in some perspective. I'm kind of losing my train of thought.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Okay, all right. So I'm kind of losing train of
believe,
thoughts here. All right.
And I've learned this. Interracial marriages.
Right.
I've learned with black people, we're very high, let's go.
Yeah.
Or the opposite. That's just from what I saw. I can't speak for everybody.
Right.
I've learned with other races, white, Hispanic, Asian, they know how to communicate. And they know when to. Like you said, your wife knows when to turn it up on a server.
Right.
And when not to. Where black people, it's either like your perspective, I feel like, F it. Or I'm the other side. Man, I don't care about none of that, bro. Bring me my plate of food right now. I'm that while you're that.
Right.
Because I just believe in black homes, we're not taught emotional intelligence. Where in their homes, even if they can't verbalize it, their families teach them that. My wife is the same way. Knows when to say it. When. That's the key. When. Me, I don't know when. Sometimes I might be like you. Sometimes I might be like, nah, forget that, bro. I'm turning this whole place up in flames.
So Sarah's, she got the
That is
heat.
the benefit of an interracial marriage.
She will go turn. She'll
probably do it respectfully, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. She's more like you, bro. Deadass.
Oh,
no, like deadass. But one thing I respect, like I said, I just respect that she can go there, and I think it's for me. I just my father goes there, and I've seen it, and I think it's something when I was little and I seen it happen. Like I just something internal just said like, nah, I'm never gonna do that. Like I can't. I never seen that side of me, so I'm scared to see that dude to come out, and I just like that. I don't know if I could put it back. That's the kind of the thing that I have inside, right? That sense of like, hey, I don't know if that guy, this vicious type of, you know, the dude you see in the middle of the night, you talk to, and you know, just you know, want to come out and just fuck some shoot up. I don't know if I'll go too far, so I don't test it. But
that's smart. That's called you know yourself.
But I don't know. I don't know what it would be. I don't even know what it looks like. I don't say I don't think she has ever. If maybe I don't think ever seen me really just not to her, just to her, but like even in interactions with other people, just like completely just see red, you know, in a way. And I wish I can figure out a better outlet, if that can make sense. I wish I could figure out a way to not keep losing. I don't want to call it that, but just more of just like a way to let the bottle out in that way. And that's why I think what you were talking when the first time we sat down, something that two things really you made it. I was talking to Sarah about this, and one of them was going back to school and going to college, because I really enjoyed school. I love education, and I would like to take more of a formal approach. So you inspired me there. And the second thing was the sense of just being able to be aggressive, be able to be active, be able to just like you have to let this primal way out somehow, and I don't have an outlet for that.
But you told me you had the Muay Thai.
So it was a long time ago that I was practicing. I don't get to practice anytime.
You need to get back in that.
Dead ass, I would love to do jiu-jitsu. So I can tell the sense of just being able to go and I think it says money is the biggest reason to divorce. But I think it's that. I think it's yes, money is the what is it called? The symptom, but not the cause. I think the cause is just that people don't really understand how to let go of this anger. They don't have to instead of being able to work things through, they just say, "Man, fuck it, I'm done."
This is so deep. Me and my wife talk about it. Know what your spouse needs to survive. I will use myself as an example.
Holy shit.
She knows when I say I'm going to the gym, don't bother me. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to work out. I'm going to hoop. I'm going to swim. I'm going to get it all out. And I know when she does her puzzles or when she plays Animal Crossing, leave her alone. That's what she needs to survive. She needs to see her family, right, to survive. She needs puzzles, Animal Crossing. She needs to spend time with the Lord. I've learned what my wife needs, and my wife has learned what I need.
Holy fucking shit.
This stuff will lead to divorce because you don't know.
I need
dude,
a pin.
It's all on the man, bro. My wife didn't tell me that. I told her that, bro. It's all on what your spouse needs. What do y'all need to survive? I need the gym, I need basketball, and I need to see my family, and I need to shoot content. And I need to help my neighbor when I can, when I have it. And I need to grab my wife, and just wrestle her sometimes. And just play with her. And I need to grab my son and put him in the headlock. That gym, bro, for me, is what I need, bro.
Fuck, dude.
My wife needs to do these puzzles. She has a whole she's rich on Animal Crossing. She has it on her DS and the Switch. That is what she needs in order to be a functional human being who's in a great headspace. So for Christmas, I bought her a DS.
Yo,
so she can play it in the bed. And we have a good relationship because I'm aware of her needs. People are getting divorced because they don't know each other's needs. And they're not taking the time to figure it out. What does your spouse need? Bro. But I want to be honest though. I'm only like this, I swear, because I'm so thankful for my upbringing. Even though it wasn't perfect, they've taught me stuff, but before God, I was selfish, whoremonger, sleeping around. You don't even want to know my body count, bro.
Yo.
I didn't think like this. And one day I'm like, I'm tired of this. Please come into my heart if you're real. And a light went on, bro. And then the man, father, husband upped it. So I feel like this buff dude walking around now. I'm not perfect, but I feel like, man, I know where I'm going.
You're determined. You feel focused. You feel like there's nothing in the way. You're not in your own way.
Bro, I'm gonna run through it, bro. I'm not. Let's be honest. Every day you don't feel like you're gonna run through a wall. There's days where I'm like, dang, I'm down, babe.
Deadass.
I tell her, she's like, communicate when you're down. I feel down, but man, bro, like that light went on, bro.
Yo, there's one of the things that I've really enjoyed is doing this. I fucking love this, man. And
so watch this. This is what you
fucking love.
Wait,
this.
This is what you need.
Yeah, man. I love talking to people, man. I love talking to people.
This is your outlet.
Love talking.
So it looks like you figured it out.
Well, you know,
just look how intentional you are.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying to care for people.
Look at the setup. This is what you need. This is your outlet. Look,
right, man. Yeah.
When you guys have kids one day, all right, Dad's gonna go do his podcast.
Yeah.
Why, Dad? Well, this is what I need, and it helps me mentally. You're going to find out something, you talking to your son or daughter, and you're going to need something. You're going to figure that out. And it's going to help you function better as a person. But this is what Dad needs. Bro, look how intentional you are.
Just look around. And then you're smart. You did it the right way. If your wife come work with you, you're smart. Because a smart man does that. Don't have your wife building somebody else's dream. Help her build your guys' dream. That's a whole nother conversation. I learned that from Dr. Miles when we were on the Bahamas. Employ your wife. My wife will be the marriage and family therapist for the Lighthouse.
You're gonna come work for me, and she's gonna work for you.
Yeah, it's
You're smart. You figured out what you need.
Listen, dude.
Jim.
Yeah, man. I wish I could take that credit. I think that one of the things that I remember this when we were first started. Me and my wife when we first started being together. Like, we used to I'll tell you a quick story.
Let me know.
And to this day, it's one of those things that I always like. Well, yeah, I guess I'll go into it first, so maybe you can understand the seriousness of it. We used to live in a spot with our old roommates.
Okay.
And they weren't the best people in San Diego.
Okay.
We were there for a cool second. It wasn't very long. I was homeless at the time. We were just talking. First initial start. This is the start of our relationship. And I don't know what I don't really know Sarah at the time, but now I've known her. She's not like this. So I'm shocked that she thought my ugly ass, she'd be like, yo, you're gonna stay with me. I was like, what the fuck? You don't even know me. She's like, come, you're gonna chill with me. And so she gave me a space and a spot to be able to just to be for like maybe a month or so. And that's not like I needed it. I got money, you know. I was home with my mom, and but it was just nice being with someone, you know. She gets a notice. The roommates say, you know, she's not supposed to be here. You need to leave by the end of the month. She's like, fuck you niggas, I ain't being here anyway. She gets up, and we go and try to find a spot. This is where I think what you mentioned earlier, where it has kind of, like I mentioned, this is going to be the haunting, right? Me, personally. The first thing that happened was we're grinding. I'm going door to door. We're doing business to business. I'm traveling, trying to go and do some sales out in Washington.
Looks like your wife respects you because you TRY.
Oh, but no. Well, hold up. And then I find this spot because I'm just trying to find us a place because I don't want her to feel like, yo, it's cheap. Like San Diego cheap, $600 for like a room cheap. Like fucking insane. It was like, steal, let's do it. Almost too good to be true, but it was quick. We get in, we get a bed. They have one there. We were able to stay there. It's a community housing, so it has a few other people there. End up finding out that the space had bed bugs. All of our clothes was about infested. And we were there for 3 days.
Wow.
She's getting bit up all over. We're like, what's going on? We start looking under the bed bugs. Ask the other people, like, yo, was there a tenant here? It's like, yeah, they just left like a week ago. It's like, why? Because there was bed bugs. And I said, so now this is a moment where I feel like
I let her down.
Fucked up. And I feel like I should be hot now, right? This is the time where you got to kind of have to flare up. But I see my dad do it. I didn't really like that example. I've never seen my mom in that range. So I just decided to cool off. Say,
I flared up, in my opinion.
See, and this is why I think this snowball, though, dead ass. This is the snowball of kind of like this type of mentality, right?
You can flare up in a respectful way.
Maybe, and I'm yet to learn. I'm down to learn. So I hit my pops up because I just want to solve the problem. Sarah, and she can get hot, so she's hot, and so Sarah's like hot, super hot fire. I'm like, all right, let me just go get this resolved. I make some calls. Pops
Dad,
like,
yep.
He's like, look, I got you. I'll make you I'll make it happen. Come out to Fontana. So we drive an hour and a half north. We go to the spot in Fontana, and then we're like, cool, we'll stay with you for a while. We drive.
What a blessing.
No, thank you. Yeah, it's a humbling experience. I'm grateful to my father. We drive from San Diego all the way down. So Fontana to San Diego down to we had to be there around 8 a.m., 7 a.m. So we had to wake up at 5, right? And then we would work all the way until about 8 or 9 p.m. And then we sometimes had like team nights after, so we stay out there for another hour or so, and then drive another an hour and a half back
home to Fontana.
So we would do this every day for 6 months, 7 months, and I told her that I'm gonna fucking work my ass off. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna build something for us. I just like I'm not gonna let this fucking I'm not gonna let this, you know, I can't let you just sit here. And so we go get promoted, open up a business in Arizona. We have this beautiful house. Finally, we don't own it, but we just rent the house. A few of our guys are there. 5-6 bedroom house in Ahwatukee. This is like a golf course on the back. We get the master bedroom. All the other guys are in the other rooms, right? And all I care about, and I swear everyone on the team, I say, if you fucking wake my wife up, all of you are gonna get the heat. That's the only thing. To this day, anytime she sleeps, I don't fuck with her ever. I don't. She gets sleep. She deserves it, right?
Sounds like you know what she needs. Part of what she needs.
Yeah, so my thing here is that, but something fell, right? Something still, like, that we never lived alone, ever had that chance to do so. So this is kind of where, like, we've been saving to buy, and we have the resources now to do that. But we've been sacrificing the family because we don't have the space to do that.
I understand.
So you kind of give and take in certain areas and certain things in your life, right? So my question for you is a little bit of this. You kind of are put in a position where you have to give a trade, right? One of the things that I've always told myself is that you cannot appreciate happiness without feeling a sense of despair.
For sure.
You cannot appreciate, the beautiful house you have without being a little bit of homeless for a second.
Exactly.
Because you won't take care of it like you have,
Exactly.
How do you appreciate this family that you have, right? Because you very much have a very strong family, right? But it doesn't really feel like you had that lack of family. It never, and do you, maybe I'm mistaken from the story that I got from you, but what do you feel like you had to sacrifice to kind of get you to where you are kind of today?
I had to sacrifice. Okay, I'll use Texas as an example. Like I said, there's two sides to me. There's no sense of family there. I came there, my mom would be out working or doing her thing, and I took care of my brothers. There's a lot of loneliness. I'd go there, I'd be by myself, taking care of my brothers.
But didn't you say earlier that, like, the sense of Midwest community, right?
I'm talking about when I go to Texas, though. And visit
wait, hold up.
Remember, my dad and my California mom live out here.
Right.
My birth mom lives in Texas, so I have a whole nother family there, my little brothers.
Right. But that's not who you were referencing.
For what?
About the Midwest type of, like.
When I've referenced Midwest, that's dad and stepmom.
Oh, okay. See, that's what I was trying to go after.
So there is a sense. There's this other side. As a kid, I remember I come back and I'm like, dang, nobody asked me how I was there. I still think about that to this day. My dad would. Nobody else said, hey, how was Texas? It's horrible, bro. Of course, there were some good moments, but it was lonely. I was a babysitter at a young age. Lonely. Our lights getting cut off. Single mom. You know how many times we've moved?
I couldn't guess.
One time I robbed a homie. Went in his parents' room, took all the gold because the lights got cut out. And then my mom gets mad at me. Why'd you do that? Because you said the lights are out. There's no man here to provide. That's why I think I value my little family so much. And then I come back here in California and they're like, hey, get in line. Damn, you're not going to ask me how it was?
What nurtures the fire then? Now that you have a kid, it kind of just keeps burning? Is that the finals? You mentioned the trifecta, right?
I think my wife taking time to listen to me. So
Jesus Christ,
from both
dude.
mothers, I never felt
Lord.
like they listened. That's what nurtures it. She listens to me. She makes me feel heard. I don't think I've ever felt heard by my family outside of my dad. I actually heard. So there's a lot that we can get into about just that old.
Yeah, as we listen, we're gonna end on that note because holy snap.
We didn't even get to abortion.
I know.
Man.
I have, listen.
Good stuff, bro.
Yo, you want to end on body count? What do you want to end on, boss? We can talk one last time.
Let me know.
Trans and children body count. Actually, I do want to have a conversation about abortion.
Or do you want to save it for next time?
Oh man, that's a long conversation. I think it would be.
Let me know.
Because
You
I'm
wanna save
actually.
it?
I think. Are you? What are you pro-choice? You're pro-life. What do
You
you?
want to save it for next time, or you want it now?
Well, let's hint to next time.
I am pro-life.
I'm pro-choice. Let's get into it. We're gonna go into.
Oh, right now? Okay.
No.
Oh, you said next time?
No, I'll go next time.
Oh,
next
right.
time. So listen, you guys have to tune in. Yeah, man. I'm very much enjoying the conversations that I'm having. One of the things that I feel like is that some people have things that, again, like you said, you have this like, and the best way I like to explain it is like the bottle, like the soda bottle, right?
Okay.
And you like, right? You have this pressure inside, and being able to talk to people lets you kind of relieve that pressure, right? And it's great because you can go the week, you feel lighter, you feel like more agile, you feel like you're able to now have a conversation with your family, you're not so stressed. And I very much enjoy having conversations with you.
Thank you.
Because it feels that way. You feel like you're able to come and have a conversation and let it out, and be able to have a very intellectual, down to earth conversation without the fear of like, hey man, are you gonna be unhinged if you don't hear the right thing? And I think from the comments that I was getting and the feedback that we were getting is that people really, really enjoy someone who has that sense of just openness. And it's interesting to see not just the story side of you, but also now get to have real deep conversations about some of the things we have.
Yep.
And now, I'll be honest with you, I got to talk to my wife. I got to be like, listen, we're going to have a basketball kid because my kid got to be his kid. And we got
No, this is dope. I'm so glad you had me on here. I'm so thankful for this.
Yeah.
Because remember I told you in my California home, if I disagree with my brother, we fought.
Yeah.
So if I'm being honest, you're one of the first black men who I can talk to. And even though we have a different set of views,
Sure.
it doesn't feel any animosity because I grew up in that.
Mm.
I couldn't have a different opinion, really. It was fall in line. So I appreciate this space. You and my friend from the Valley, who I mentioned last time, you remind me of him.
Yeah.
You're healthy, and I love to see another healthy black man.
Thanks.
So I'm thankful that we can have these spaces where you don't feel like I'm judging you and you're not judging me. Because this feels like a safe space.
Mm.
Shout out to your parents for being marriage and family therapists.
Yo, dude,
Because
my
you
family
are a safe
dude.
space as well. So I want to give you those props. You make me feel safe where I can feel comfortable talking about my opinion. Because for years I kept my opinion to myself.
Same.
Because that trauma I had at home of thinking, oh, you can't say anything that's against what we believe.
Thank you for joining us for the Beanie After Dark. Where can people find you, man?
You guys can find me on Instagram, Santa Monica Boulevard. I spelled it wrong last time. It's just Santa Monica Boulevard, SantaMonica, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna put. I swear to you, guys.
LVD, Santa Monica Boulevard. Follow me, you guys.
We will put it in the description, and I'm gonna get some highlights out for this evening. I'm really excited for you.
Another thing too, don't take my content personal. It's all jokes. Don't be so sensitive. I just want to say that. I talk about everybody. I talk about every race. Black, white, Asian, you're getting made fun of. Everybody. But it's just a joke. I'm doing the content to fund my home. It's the bigger picture. Don't take my content personal. Please don't. I have to say that.
No, you got sometimes.
Content is different from when you actually talk to me.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just humor. It's just fun, man.
Yeah, you got to.
So you can scroll on your phone and laugh. It is not that deep.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Awesome, guys. Have a good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. And, see you next time.